It's lovely to be here with Stefan Bardega from Zenith Optimedia and Martin Ford, who is the author of the Rise of the Robots book. How are you guys finding Cannes so far?
Well, it's great. It's beautiful. It's just a fantastic place.
It's very sunny, but also quite hard work, I've discovered. Not this bit.
Now you get the sunglasses on to demonstrate what hard work it's been, right? So what have you seen so far? Have you had a chance to catch any sessions?
Yeah, actually, in the innovation section, I found a company. Don't ask me the name of it. I can't remember. But they do in-store retail tracking by putting a little device on the trolley to monitor where people go in store, which I thought was really interesting. But yeah, just one company that I've found that's quite interesting so far.
And you guys are doing a session tomorrow. Can you tell us a little bit about what it will be covering?
Well, we're going to talk about automation and robots. I've written a book about the potential impact of robots and artificial intelligence on jobs, and we're going to talk about that. And also specifically about the impact in the advertising industry, because I do think it'll be very significant. So I think it'll be a really fascinating discussion, I hope.
So we think that automation is something that's really coming pretty quickly in the advertising communications industry, and I think there are three key drivers of automation in our business, and I like to call them the 3 Ps. So the first P of automation in our industry is platforms, so the increasing pervasiveness of these global technology stacks like Google and Facebook, which now interestingly account for about 85% of all new money coming into digital marketing is going into Google and Facebook. And these platforms are increasingly connecting data, creative, and the media inventory into one sort of seamless solution, and increasingly that's automated. So the first P is platforms. The second P is programmatic as a driver of automation, which is the new or emerging way that inventory is bought and advertising placed, and increasingly that's machine to machine and automated. And the third P is precision marketing, which is tying platforms and programmatic together to enable advertisers to leverage data to deliver almost infinite numbers of creative assets at an individual targeted level, and actually to do that it has to be automated. So I think we're at a period in the communications industry where automation is something that is now ready to be scaled out, and it has serious implications for people in our business.
Obviously Cannes about creativity and talent though, and how do the robots, are they going to be doing that in the next few years? Is Cannes going to be all about robots?
Well, it's interesting that most people say creativity is something that's uniquely human, and so that ought to be safe. And yet, within advertising, there are many good examples of what we see, what you might call bounded creativity, where you've got creativity that has clearly defined boundaries. And within those boundaries, we are seeing algorithms that can undertake creative tasks. I mean, for example, there are dynamically generated advertisements, when what you have is essentially a template, and then algorithms can generate untold numbers of combinations of elements. They can create entirely new presentations, and they can test that against actual data, to see how people are responding to that. And that's something that obviously a person could never do, but a machine can do it. And yet, in a sense, it is creativity. It's something entirely new that didn't exist before. So we are seeing, algorithms and machines move into that space gradually.
Yeah.
For
gradually.
now,
what's the time scale on this?
Well, it's happening now again in these more limited areas. I think it will be some time before we see machines really taking on big picture, genuinely creative ideas. Before you see a machine that can come up with a unique idea, that can design the template for one of these ads, or can conceive of a television advertisements or something like that. That still clearly lies in the future, but we are seeing a definite encroachment on some areas that might be perceived as creative.
Are there any tips on how we can future-proof ourselves against this, our jobs, keep our jobs?
Well, you want to move away from routine, predictable things. I mean, you don't want to be doing the nuts and bolts, repetitive type aspects of this. You want to be the person that's really thinking up the new idea, the overall concept. And also you want to begin to understand the implications of data for all of this. I mean, everything, not just in advertising, but really everywhere, across every industry, is becoming extraordinarily data-driven. It's about understanding how can you use all this massive amounts of data that's out there and leverage that. And the people that can learn how to do that can learn how to combine an understanding of how to use and interpret data with the ability to be creative and come up with new ideas. Those are the people that are really going to succeed, I think, both in advertising and across industries in general.
So compared to other industries, how much of a risky one are we in, would you say?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, this is a technology that's impacting every industry. So,
Right.
It's very hard to say which industries are going to be hit the most. In fact, there's really no consensus about that among even the people that work
Right.
directly in artificial intelligence. So the most important point is that it's everywhere, and absolutely, without question, if you've got a career in advertising, this is one of the places that's going to happen. I mean, there's no avoiding it.
Okay. So what else are you guys looking forward to for the rest of Cannes? Is there anything else you're planning on seeing?
Can say parties. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping to get on a boat at some point. I'm hoping to get on a boat. I'm hoping to spend a bit of time in the festival because I obviously have a pass for a couple of days. So I want to go and see some people with far bigger brains than I talk about some great creativity in our industry.
Well, I'm unfortunately only here for a very short time, but I hope to see some more things, and maybe I'll get invited to come again, and that would be great.
There was a
I'd like to
robot
see it.
polar bear yesterday. That was probably worth seeing for you, right?
Right, I
Taking
wasn't,
over the jobs of the polar bear.
right, I wasn't here yesterday, so I missed that, but
Oh, no.
I definitely would have liked to see it.
Well, it's lovely chatting to you guys, and enjoy what you do see of Cannes.
Right, thank you.
Thanks very much.